back, everybody, to the Nexon Arena for more SSL Premier. SSL actually did just lose to Zest 1-2 in the first mirror matchup of the night. We're going to be jumping into the second and potentially the best matchup tonight. It's going to be INnoVation versus aLive.
INnoVation just coming off of a very tough GSL group, but he came out 4-1. Actually, you know what? I just looked at this group again. It's not the toughest one. He had Lucira, SOS, and Impact.
Yeah.
But
definitely the favorite out of those four.
I saw those games. He crushed it. Obviously, different matchups. Didn't have any TVTs in the group. But like he made it look easy. The narrative I was trying to build was it was a tough group, but he made it look easy. But actually, it was a pretty easy group. He only dropped the one map, and that was just a few days ago. aLive, as you mentioned, coming off of the tear through the Super Tournament where he made it all the way to the Grand Finals. But TVT has always historically been a really good matchup for aLive. His zoning skills in particular, very impressive. He defeated Maru. Some really good TVT play. And look, I feel like this matchup could go either way. This is the matchup where INnoVation's style, his robotic play, will allow him to zone the map and have a good understanding of where his unit should be. But aLive is the more aggressive player. He's going to be looking for the doom drops, looking for that massive harassment if we go Supreme late game.
Yeah. Going into this one, I'd have to favor INnoVation. Personally, I think he's going to take it probably 2-1. But taking a look at the map list here, Overgrowth, Newkirk, Precinct, and Daybreak is the choice. Both of these players wanted to play on Overgrowth, so it goes in first. And Newkirk and Daybreak were the first choices for both these guys. That's kind of the way that works. And here we go. We're going to be jumping into set number 1 in just a second here, guys. Go out there and tell your friends to get into the stream and watch this sick TVT that's going right now.
INnoVation, 이신현, aLive, 한희석.
Fly better fly, Jin Air. Down here in the bottom left on Overgrowth, it is INnoVation, the red Terran.
His opponent, the top right in blue, it is aLive, the blue Terran.
Blue. Red versus blue.
Great YouTube series, Red versus Blue, in the Halo series. You ever watch that?
I watched some. My cousin was into it.
I watched maybe just part of one season. I didn't actually finish it, but I really enjoyed it. That humor resonated to me when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it.
It was nice. Back in the day.
Back in the day.
Playing Halo 2 with your friends.
Yeah, man.
Watching Red versus Blue with your friends.
Halo 3 was like the greatest thing ever. Trash talk on the mic, in the lobby, post-game. So good.
Yeah, it was fun. It's like those people who love to trash those games, like Halo, like Call of Duty. You know how there's like 5 billion of them now. I don't even know how many there are. But, I mean, those are part of our childhood, you know? You got your Xbox, you're playing with your friends. Those late nights, going Prestige and stuff. I don't know.
You know,
I like it.
For me, there was always something really cool about being able to play, as we have mirror builds, by the way, in this game, gas first for both. There was something really cool about being able to play games online. I lived it basically in the middle of nowhere. Didn't actually have the ability to play with, kids nearby, so I always played, like my game was Star Fox, and I played it a million times. I was always beating myself by high score. And then the first game I actually could play that was online that worked well was StarCraft, and that's how I got into this whole thing in the first place.
Yeah.
It's because I didn't have a cul-de-sac. I didn't have kids to play street hockey with or to run around and play tag and things like that. I just had my Nintendo 64 and then my terrible
nerds
PC.
Are born.
Yeah.
Not on the cul-de-sac. In the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and I had...
Where did you live? Georgia?
Yeah, I lived...
South Carolina? Somewhere down there?
I had a... I had my mouse, my keyboard, Brood War, and it was amazing, and that's how I started. And now here we are. 2017, INnoVation versus aLive. TBT, a matchup I played the most in Brood War. I was a Terran, but look at this. Reaper harass.
Look at it.
Look at it.
Reaper versus Reaper.
Going back to play-by-play in this game. I told you guys my personal history.
Yeah.
Like, really embarrassed.
I don't know. I think it was a pretty cool story. You think about how nerds are born, and you think about some of the pro gamers we have today. Like, that's part of the reason why competitive gaming is so big in Korea. It's the kids, they live in a big city, but there's PC bongs everywhere. And if they just want to play a bunch of games, they can go with their friends. They can do that. They can grind games forever. You know, tell their mom that they're studying, but actually they're playing StarCraft until 11 o'clock at night.
That's right.
It's pretty easy to become a professional nerd in Korea, I'd say.
Yeah. Come out here and try it, guys. Takes a lot of practice.
Give it a shot.
Hey, maybe you qualify for GSL.
Yeah.
Major and Scarlet did. You qualify for SSL. So, let's take a look at these builds. Big surprise. The medevac comes out for aLive. He's the one who wants to be aggressive and attack. INnoVation plays the more defensive, faster expansion style.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Also the Raven, too.
Yeah, the story we've already told, but he's actually drawing INnoVation away from his base right now, but he didn't send the medevac elsewhere. He's just trying to do this to get some extra shots with his Cyclone. Does already use the boost, so INnoVation should be able to cut this off and get into position. Oops. Does that drop?
Cyclone was getting a little bit claustrophobic in that tiny medevac. It's bigger than the medevac.
Wants to actually deny this CC, gets the building SCV, but now he's actually really overextended with these units. It's just drawing them away. The Raven already spots this, though. He picks up immediately. There's the lock-on. He actually gets it.
Oh, it's so low. Has the vision. It goes down to 18 health. And a really nice defense from INnoVation. Although aLive actually did supply block INnoVation because he denied the CC from finishing, which is kind of nice. But this counterattack could get some damage done.
Yeah, actually going to try to deny the CC counterwise. He does get the building SCV, but aLive is much better prepared to deal with this. Ooh, can actually catch this Cyclone, but doesn't kill it. This is a pretty good trade for INnoVation, all things considered.
He might be able to fight once that auto turret finishes.
I think so. He's even going to just continue rallying across right now. aLive, very few units. Does have the siege tank on the ramp, though. And that's going to do a decent amount of damage, but...
So key. He needs to save that, but he can't.
No repair. This is going to be a lot of dead SCVs.
Well, look at that.
And look, even the Vikings on the ground, a rare sight.
Yeah.
Take a picture.
That's going to be so key. There's like no units here for aLive. Just that simple counterattack and an attack gone wrong for aLive.
I think that's
going to win the game here for INnoVation.
That's a game-winning blow. He's just rallying units across. He has a third CC. And aLive, I don't even think INnoVation realizes this game is quite literally over, but he's just going to play it safe and make that third CC and keep rallying. The Banshee comes in. He doesn't even have any anti-air here.
Yeah. Well, so if you had any question whether or not the game was over, once you see the Banshee, that might just do it. But aLive is going to try to hold on, really trying to micro his heart out here against that Cyclone on the left. Viking gets another kill, but 9 SCVs have gone down. The Banshee still getting damage done. Viking will pop out and eventually push this back, but now INnoVation is massively far ahead.
But he is. He's going to kill a few more of these SCVs. 13 down in total. So, let's take a gander. Look at that units lost tab. That's more complicated to look at than what I'm about to tell you. He has 3 CCs, soon to be 3 orbitals. He has Stim on the way. He has the larger army. He has double the worker count. aLive is he's in trouble.
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
He's in jeopardy. In fact, he may not be able to even defend this next attack. Stim or no. And INnoVation is double E-base.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't know how to all in. He only knows how to build armies, macro, and win the game.
He doesn't know how to all in. It's kind of true.
I mean, he does do timing attacks, but he doesn't know how to just,
From time to time.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to just end the game necessarily. He's like, okay, I think I'm ahead. I'm just going to take this advantage. And aLive is forced back. He has the worst siege takedown count. He has no air control whatsoever. The Vikings actually could have even killed this medevac if they had seen it.
He's going for a drop. That's how desperate he is right now. Actually, 7 SCVs, 8 SCVs. The repair coming down here.
He just wants to pay more money to lose this CC.
Yeah.
And then he did.
Somehow,
GG.
GG. INnoVation takes the game finally there. Somehow 8 of his SCV died. Not exactly sure how that happened. Might have just been like a lone Reaper in there while INnoVation was microing. But either way, that's a very one-sided game. They're actually just declined the invite to the game. Hold on.
Get in the game.
Like, no, I'm not. I don't want to see any more of this.
How am I supposed to know if they made it immortal or not when I misspeak if you're not in the lobby? How am I supposed to more in-depth look at the supply? How am I supposed to look at the units tab? Check the upgrades. Come on. All right, you're in it. We're good. Going to Newkirk Precinct.
Newkirk.
That's
how aLive. That's how aLive feels after that game, Newkirk. But yeah, I mean, he had a nice build going into it. It looked good, nice timing attack, but INnoVation just slapped it down like a fly out of the sky with the fly swatter. Said, okay, sit down, kid. I'm going to take this game.
He cut off the retreating units of aLive. You get the better exchange at the natural. He just had a massive army lead that he parried into that next attack. Won the game off of it.
So guys, we are going to be jumping into game number 2 right now. Hopefully it's a bit better than game number 1. We are on Newkirk Precinct. Down here on the bottom right, the red Terran, it is INnoVation. Looking like one of the best Terrans in the world right now, if not the best.
Now his opponent to the bottom left in blue. There's aLive. You really have to make the argument out of recent results that INnoVation is currently the best. Uh-oh, it's INnoVation versus Maro all over again. We're going to see CCs meet in the middle. Just INnoVation go for the proxy. He did this last time, though.
Right after we said that he didn't know how to all-in.
Yeah, well, this is
trying to prove us wrong.
Always an all-in. It just is, depending on the situation. But you can transition from it, as we saw. It's going to be double, though, so he really does commit, just as he did in the previous time. The double barracks here. But you could really have to make the argument with INnoVation's results, going all the way as far back as IEM Gyeonggi, that his decent results he had at Katowice, and also his GSL run, that was cut short in this matchup by Ryung, that he is the best Terran in the world right now. aLive is the closest thing, I feel, in terms of results right now with his run through the Super Tournament. And his results so far, actually, in this, he's number 5 with 3-2, but he might have actually been 4-1 had he had the chance to play Patience for real and not forfeit it. So we'll see if aLive can turn this series around, but he's going to have to deal with this Reaper proxy first. The first Reaper is on the way for both players, but it's 2-1 in terms of Reaper production.
Yeah, interesting that INnoVation doesn't keep his SCVs around. Generally, we see 2 Reapers, 2 SCVs attack. That's the moment where you can win the fight, and with that tempo advantage and the extra Reapers that are popping out, eventually snowball to a nice lead. But decides to just play it a bit safer and say, okay, I'll just attack with the Reapers. I want to get the mining with my SCVs instead.
It's a very INnoVation thing to do, is to just have the transition available. That's why even though he was like triple the supply of aLive, he added 2 eBays when he attacked, because he was like, well, just in case, all right. It's going to be 2 and then 4 in just a moment here. If he kills the first Reaper, that is massive. Look at that really well-placed grenade from aLive. It actually knocked the Reapers closer, but the idea was pretty smart. Almost cut them off there. Very quick reaction time. Good micro here on his own Reaper. The SCVs getting the surround, but INnoVation will keep that Reaper alive. Oh, an aggressive move through here. But he's going to lose both Reapers. And this gets significantly weaker. The first Hellion is going to pop out here fairly soon, too. aLive, very good defense so far.
He gets a kill with a Marine!
With a Marine!
Oh, man. Well, INnoVation, he just gets a little bit too aggressive, and you have to be so safe when you go for this kind of thing. What I mean by that is not run straight into the SCV line and take extra damage. When you have 2 Reapers versus 1, obviously you can win the fight, but you have to not take damage from the SCVs, which is sometimes hard to do.
Yeah, it's very difficult when aLive has such a good pull like that. Good targeting, saving his own Reaper, keeping it out of range when the SCVs were attacking. INnoVation is going to try to sneak in a delayed attack here with these 2. This could do some damage. Bakanomi has transitioned into his Cyclone that's coming up here at a very, very late CC. So the Cyclone is for safety. He's going to go into a starport. Actually, a Liberator coming out here for aLive. That tells me he's very scared of a follow-up all-in. And
INnoVation.
He's caught here, kind of surrounded now with this Hellion as well. I think one should survive. The second one goes down, though. Barracks return home. Continue to produce now. As INnoVation makes a Viking out of that starport. CC almost done, but he's lost a significant amount of mining compared to aLive. aLive has double mules. He has for a while. He has the faster tech. I should start Stim first after all of this.
Yeah, this Reaper's still out on the map. You can see now finally it has been taken away. So now we're going to see aLive ahead in this game. This is really his game to try to even up the series, having successfully defended the aggression from INnoVation.
Viking actually predicts this path of the Liberator, perhaps expecting it to be a Banshee. Doesn't look like he realized the Viking just automatically attacked. Now he sends it over. Only to get the one kill. Interesting choice to use the Liberator aggressively here. Looks like he's going to get maybe one or two more. Ooh, just two more. 3 in total. That was pretty expensive by aLive. Just a simple hold by INnoVation. Stim does come up first for INnoVation, actually, as aLive is committing more to the siege tanks. So the game kind of does stabilize. Obviously, aLive has the better SCV count because he's been producing for longer. He's been mining for longer with those. But INnoVation's going to move out with these 3 Cyclones. There's going to be a bunker ready, and the siege tank's going to be 2. He's going to, I think he's going to try to harass with the Vikings in the main base.
Yeah,
actually,
maybe.
They're fighting right there on the minimap. You can see it's 2v2. Looks like aLive gets the first shot. Oh, INnoVation with a sneaky move.
Oh, he's going to try to target here, but he can't quite lock on. So aLive wins that trade too. Everything going right for aLive in this game. INnoVation now starting his 3rd CC on the low ground. A bit of extra risk that we don't often see from INnoVation when he is behind, trying to even things up. I do like it.
I feel like it's very necessary in this game for him to take a risk like this. In StarCraft, sometimes taking a risk like this can be very, the results could be basic. Unscouted, INnoVation catches up, perhaps takes a lead. If scouted, he probably will be dead. There's almost nothing he could do with this much commitment to the resources to that CC after also losing so many units. Does not want to lose these Cyclones, by the way. Good targeting by aLive. Target the further one first, you get the closer one on the retreat path. So good micro, picks off 2 of those. If he realizes this 3rd CC is here, he's definitely going to have a window of attack. This is kind of funny. The spotting Marine does not actually spot the important part, though, which is this double medevac drop. Marines aren't good enough to kill that Viking, or we'd have a serious design flaw on our hands. They're pretty good, but not that good.
Sending some of his Marines down to the 3rd base, and that means that there shouldn't be much in the main to defend against this right now.
He has Stim critically, though. Vikings just barely missed the drop, and there are 2 siege tanks in here. This base is not going to be mining for a while. He needs to actually deal with that siege tank if he wants to stay in this position. He's actually going to look for picks on these depots, scanning, see the commitment here, and also to get vision of the siege tank. Unfortunately, it's out of range. Both of them, though, INnoVation can't hit the siege tanks either, so the siege tank isn't really all that helpful right now. He's going to send the medevacs in perhaps for just an escape. He's just going to send the medevacs to save them, not going to try to save his Marines. And this will eventually be cleared up, but good trade for aLive, and so much lost mining time here for INnoVation.
Yeah, really about that mining time. Gets 7 SCVs too. You can see aLive with the move. He does start his own 3rd CC, but INnoVation, he does have that 3rd orbital down. He is mining from there right now. And we actually see another force moving across the map here from aLive. I think he's identified that INnoVation probably has the 3rd base and may want to shut it down, but he's heading not in the correct direction.
Yeah, he's doesn't seem fully aware, but this attack over here, I like this a lot. This is kind of an aLive way of playing. You know, he's very aggressive with his army and will just simply continue to attack when slightly ahead like this, trying to find weaknesses in the armor of INnoVation instead of just macroing up for max. He wants to get small trades They take this Marine out and just going to commit in here. Wants to perhaps bait the Marines down. He has a larger Marine count, so he's just going to take this fight when there's no tanks nearby. And look at this. Tanks actually of aLive, I think, could hit those tanks. Yeah, they can if they have vision, and they do. There's the scan, so he's going to get the trade on the tank as well. aLive is just getting so much value out of this. And he can't even land the Vikings here because the Marines will just stem and make quick work of that. So now he's doubling the army supply. I mean, he's just getting small trade advantages, and then eventually he's going to have the army to swing the hammer. We're nearly at the apex of the swing, if you will, because he's really exploding in this macro. Look at the second army, even bigger than the first, moving across the map now.
Yeah, you can see what INnoVation is trying to do. He's just trying to turtle up as much as possible, get the tanks in some crucial locations, hope that aLive just stims into a tank line that he can defend. But aLive is being very careful with the damage that he's getting done. As you said, just little bits of advantages here and there. He's going to snipe a tank now.
I mean, the control of aLive is superior right now. You should never lose a tank to tanks when you have this many Vikings actually nearby. He had the massive vision advantage. So aLive comes over here with a much larger army. He's just going to stim into the tank line. He splits his Marines, and this is just way too much. The tanks will go down here. Very cost inefficient, but when you're this far ahead, it does not matter. That is it, GG. We're going to a game number 3.
Really nicely done there by aLive. A very fantastic defense from the beginning against those Reapers. Gets ahead, stays ahead. Doesn't throw his army away. All of his harass was really, really nice. Always took the advantageous part of the trade. And INnoVation, maybe he's going to be regretting going for a bit of a risky build there in Game 2. They're going to be jumping into Whirlwind, the 4-player gigantic map. And I feel like this is going to favor INnoVation, but aLive looking good in that game number 2.
I'm excited about this. This map is quite large. And with the big map like this, it's going to be a long game. INnoVation in his game there, in that second map, he looked to delay the game to get max. You can max on 3 bases. That's a beautiful thing about a mirror matchup, especially TVT. If you just turtle, it's hard to kill a Terran. You turtle, max versus max, even if aLive has the entire map. If he loses his entire army just one time, INnoVation can win the game with how quickly Marines do DPS. But aLive did not give him the chance to turtle back and get to max. He just kept getting the trades that allowed him to get that massive advantage to swing the hammer to end the game. And now we're going into game number 3, which will be on Daybreak. Actually, for some reason they invited you to the wrong lobby. I was wondering about the conflict on my
They invited me and then they all left. Okay, there we go. I'm in the right.
They tried to drop you off at the lame party.
It's because I denied their request earlier on. I denied the invite.
You and the Observer is not getting along. You guys got to fix your relationship. I need you to get in those games.
Yeah, we need to get into game number 3. Countdown has actually already started here as we get our club lights on here in the generic club.
That's right.
For SSL Premier.
Fun fact, the Nexon Arena used to be a club.
Yeah, very true.
Then a sushi restaurant. And now, the arena where we have great StarCraft games. So let's go into game number 2, or game number 3 rather, on Daybreak.
Here we are on Daybreak for game number 3. Down on the bottom left, the red Terran INnoVation.
And his opponent to the top right in blue, it is aLive. Shoutouts to Duckville Lol on Twitter. You made me quite nearly laugh out loud on air. We stifled our laughter as we saw your
He made
tweet.
air come out of my nose.
Yeah, you guys might have heard that.
Just a little bit, though.
It wasn't
It was
Valdez.
good. It was a good tweet.
It wasn't Valdez unable to control his breathing after having many years of professional casting experience. It was a funny joke we saw on Twitter. Do tweet at us. We love to hear from you guys while we're casting, or even when you watch the VODs. It feels like you get to experience us in some sort of weird time vortex. Because I'm talking now to the people watching live, but also the people watching the VOD who are out there. And somebody's going to watch this VOD and probably tweet at me and be like, I remember when you said you made that thing. It's kind of weird. I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning with that tweet.
You're going to be half asleep. You're like, oh, yeah, I remember when I said that.
Yep.
Greetings from the past.
Greetings from the past.
We come in peace.
We come in peace. So, this game, starting off very similar to the first game. We'll see if aLive wants to be aggressive with the drop. Obviously, Overgrowth is a much shorter rush distance than Daybreak, so pretty likely that we'll see him play a more conservative opening. And even if he goes for the drop and fails, INnoVation won't be able to punish him with the counterattack as easily. So it's going to be a longer game. Not as long as, say, Whirlwind, as you were describing, but definitely going to be a bigger, longer one.
Ah, yes. That explains why I thought it was going to be Whirlwind. They invited me to the wrong lobby, and that must have been it. They made it with the wrong map.
Yes.
But it is actually Daybreak. Sorry about the confusion.
It's okay. Only the observer was confused. Let's make fun of him for a second.
Whirlwind was actually INnoVation's third choice. We have a biased lobby creator here in our midst at Spo TV. Well, I didn't want to play this map.
Nope.
Or that map, I should say.
He wanted to play this one. It was his top
that was
choice.
his first choice. INnoVation did not want to play this one. Well, the Reaper expand from aLive. INnoVation going more of a tech route. Actually, we might be seeing some Raven play, or maybe even a Banshee. He's going to kill that SCV.
He's actually somehow able to deny this CC from building, which is really annoying. Second Reaper coming up, he may be able to deny it a second time. Actually, I think he does. The Reaper comes up here, he's just going to deny this. Look at the targeting here from INnoVation. He targets down the building SCV first because he knows he's already won the Reaper battle, just to make sure that CC doesn't finish. And, I mean, he's like winning a battle with the small group of units right now. Like, this is actually insane. He doesn't even have any SCVs with him. Reaper's regen, so normally you can't actually have a push last this long because eventually units will get low on health and die, but the Reaper's regen, they keep coming back. Very well done by INnoVation.
Yeah,
he now starts his own CC.
I really liked this spot. I liked what he was doing there, denying the CC, killing the Reaper, but then he went up the ramp, and we saw him do that in game number 2 too, where it's like in these early trades he gets one small advantage and then he's like, oh, I'm gonna kill him, and then he just loses the trade and has to back off. So now aLive, his CC is a lot farther ahead, finishes that up, he's making an orbital. INnoVation's is way far behind, but he does have the better tech and already does have a Raven, so he can make up the difference with perhaps some auto turret harass.
Here come the Hellions, shut down. One Reaper on the backside, really aggressive, gets away too. INnoVation's Reaper control pretty good. Not really that great on the second map there, but the third is on point. Looks like he's tightening it up. So aLive will go for another drop. I think that's one siege taken there, yeah, just the one. But there is a defense already mounted here for INnoVation. He has the Viking, so I don't think this drop gets into the main base, not a chance. If he goes in on the top part of the main base, perhaps he could get the unload off and control the ramp, but that is really his best chance. Gonna harass here to try to draw the units away to the natural, but he's already spotted and he boosts away. INnoVation impervious to this drop. This game really starts to feel very much like game number 1.
Yeah. Just aLive being more careful with this drop. I know you can definitely get a little bit overzealous on Overgrowth. You know, try to get the high ground, get your tank in there, get your Cyclones up there, but aLive kind of pacing himself this time around, so not just going to throw it away in one fell swoop this time. We may actually transition. Liberator is out here, going to force some SCVs to pull.
Not even a single SCV kill, though. It's only temporary damage here. This is aggressive to even leave the siege tank there. You can't pick it up in siege mode.
Oh, it loses the medevac to the auto turrets.
INnoVation is in an amazing position now. He had the later CC, but he gets everything else he wants. Once again, going for the third CC first, and now he's going to go put some pressure on aLive. With that big kill, he has the massive lead in army. He knows it. That's a cool thing about a mirror matchup. When you get a trade like this that's so positive, you know you have this opportunity to counterattack, even on a long rush distance like Daybreak, because you know it's physically impossible for him to have more units than you, because you're playing the same race. It's a mirror matchup, so you know, okay, I'm going to come across here and I'm going to have more stuff. and he's going to be in trouble. Already getting the lock-ons here with the cycle on the Marines, and this may just be game over. aLive is going to lose so many SCVs. Here's the siege up as well. Auto turrets in the front. Big repair on the siege tank, but it's not enough to stop the burst.
Yeah, he actually surrounded it, but didn't repair. And some extra damage there by the Liberator, but I think that would have been better for the defense, to be honest.
Yeah.
And one small mistake once again on the aggression by aLive. Looks like it might just win INnoVation another game here.
This Liberator will never do enough to turn this game around. Don't forget, INnoVation has a third CC. Could even stop Stim here. Starts the target. Auto turret landed. Stim's going to go down. SCVs, all of them are dead. This is game over. He caps the production. Yeah, even if he kills every SCV, I don't think he'll ever be able to.
He's trying to
defend.
base race.
Yeah.
Base trade, but that was spotted by INnoVation. He knows it's coming. And yeah, I mean, I think I phrased it a little bit unfortunately before, where, you know, aLive kind of just makes one mistake and he just loses too much. You know, you can't lose a full medevac like that, and INnoVation really ramping up his production at the same time and expect to survive the counterattack. Those are all the SCVs, the final SCVs dying to the survivors, but it doesn't matter. GG. INnoVation takes the best of 3 with a couple of quick games.
Yeah, not the amazing, super mind-gamey late game that I was hoping for in this best of 3. Early leads determining all 3 games, and was not a clean series by any means. INnoVation definitely played the more defensive style, and when the series goes this way, that kind of style will win out in the end. aLive trying to force the drop in game 1 and 3, and INnoVation, well prepared, was ready, and that was the beginning of the end. aLive making that one control mistake. Without that mistake, he probably has enough units to hold. The game goes on, but INnoVation saw blood in the water and finished him off.
Yeah, just getting a little bit overzealous, a little bit too aggressive with his attack. So now INnoVation will move up to, well, he's still in 4th place, looks like it, but he's now 4-2 in series and 10-5 in terms of total games. So should feel pretty good about himself. Will tie with some of the other players that are up in the top 3 and really solidifies himself to be in a good spot about halfway through this round robin.
Yep, and he looks to be moving towards the playoffs, I would say. You know, he's not guaranteed or anything yet, but it really feels like he is going to make it. So we'll see if he can continue this trend. That was one of his tougher matches, I would say, given his weakness in the TVT matchup in the GSL. But guys, before we go into our next matchup, the Zerg versus Zerg between Solar and Biel, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Be right back. See you guys soon.